It is very seldom that mere ordinary people like John and myself secure ancestral halls for the summer. I would say that it is a haunted house, and I proudly declare that there is something queer about it. I said so to John one evening, but he laughs at me. Of course, but one expects that. John is a physician, and perhaps, I would never say it to a living soul, but this is dead paper and a great relief to my mind, perhaps that is the one reason why I do not get well faster. You see, he does not believe I am sick, and what can one do? If a physician and one's own husband assures people that there is really nothing the matter with one but temporary nervous depression, what is one to do? I don't like our room a bit. I wanted one downstairs, but John would not hear of it. He said that there was only one window, and not room for 2 beds, and no near room for him if he took another. So he took the nursery at the top of the house. It is a big, airy room with windows that are padlocked. The paint and paper is dull, and when you follow the squared pattern, they suddenly commit suicide, plunge off at outrageous angles, destroy themselves in unheard of contradictions. The color is repellent, almost revolting, a smoldering, unclean yellow. Oh, there comes John, and I must put this away. He hates to have me write a word. John is away all day, and even some nights when his cases are serious. I am glad my case isn't serious. But these nervous troubles are dreadfully depressing. John does not know how much I really suffer. I suppose John never was nervous in his life. He laughs at me so about this wallpaper. The paper looks to me as if it knew what a vicious influence it had. There is a recurrent spot where the pattern lolls like a broken neck, and 2 bulbous eyes stare at you upside down. Up and down and sideways they crawl, and those absurd, unblinking eyes are everywhere. I really don't mind the room a bit, only the paper. It has a kind of sub-pattern in a different shade, a particularly irritating one, for you can only see it in a certain light, and not very clearly. But in places where it isn't faded, and where the sun is just so, I can see a strange, provoking, formless sort of figure that seems to skulk about behind that silly and conspicuous front design. I don't know why I should write this. I don't want to. I don't feel able. But I must say what I feel and think in some way. It is such a relief. Behind that outside pattern, the dim shapes get clearer every day. It is always the same shape, only very numerous. And it is like a woman stooping down and creeping about behind that pattern. I don't like it a bit. I wonder. I begin to think. I wish John would take me away from here. If I request to leave, he simply tells me, "Oh, of course, if you were in any danger, I could and would, but really you are better, dear. Whether you can see it or not, I am a doctor, dear, and I know." Life is much more exciting now than it used to be. I have something more to expect, to look forward to watch. John is so pleased to see me improve. He laughed a little the other day and said I seemed to be flourishing in spite of my wallpaper. I turned it off with a laugh. I had no intention of telling him it was because of the wallpaper. Oh, he would make fun of me. He might even want to take me away. I'm feeling so much better. I've discovered something at last. The front pattern does move, and the woman behind it shakes it. Sometimes I think there are a great many women behind, and sometimes only one. And she crawls around fast, and her crawling shakes it all over. She takes hold of the bars and shakes them hard, and she's all the time trying to climb through. As soon as it was moonlight, and that poor woman began to crawl and shake the pattern, I got up and I ran to her. I pulled and she shook, I shook and she pulled, and before morning we had peeled off yards of that paper. And then, when the sun came and that awful pattern began to laugh at me, I declared I would finish it today. I have locked the door and thrown the key down to the front path. I don't want anybody to come in till John does. I want to astonish him. I've got a rope up here, and if that woman does get out and tries to get away, I can tie her. But I forgot I could not reach far without anything to stand on, and this bed will not move. I peeled off all the paper I could reach standing on the floor. I don't like to look out of the windows even. There are so many of those creeping women, and they creep so fast. I wonder if they all came out of that wallpaper as I did. But I am securely fastened now by my well-hidden rope, and I suppose I shall have to get back behind the pattern when it comes night, and that is hard. Why, there's John at the door. It would be a shame to break down that beautiful door, so I tell him to get the key down at the front steps. He begs me to open the door, but I tell him that I can't. Of course. He got the keys and came in. He stopped short by the door. I've got out at last in spite of you. I pulled off most of the paper, so you can't put me back. Now why should that man have fainted? But he did, and right across my path by the wall, so that I had to creep over him every time.